Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Siti Azina binti Ahmad Norman Shah and I will explain about the question 1, which is explain how sensitivity analysis and scenario analysis are useful tools for evaluating the project risk. These two methods are useful tools for evaluating project risk such as cost, schedule, and performance, where the sensitivity analysis attempt to quantify the impact on project goal if certain assumptions do not occur or occur just particularly. Sensitivity analysis is a method for determining the effects of change to project variable on the base case. Sensitivity analysis requires that every independent and dependent variable be studied in a detailed manner. It is helped to determine the association between the variable. Even better, it is facilitate more accurate forecasting. The method of forecasting the future value of an investment based on the potential change to existing factor called a scenario analysis. It is required in evaluating the effects of various market conditions on the whole project or investment. It can be used in the first phase of a project to test scenario and optimize the plan. It is crucial technique used to forecast the outcome of any during execution. In addition, sensitivity analysis is the study of how the output of a decision varies in response to change in input. It is utilized in extent where one or more input variables are required, while scenario analysis is evaluate the impact of simulation, modifying all variables using the methodology and analysis generate a variety of problems in the future event. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Now, both of these analyses are useful for the financial managers in order to assist in maintaining lower risk and raise the potential gains by making the best decisions as possible. Although sensitivity analysis and scenario analysis have same purposes, which is to assess the project risk, but there are also some significant differences that should be considered. To begin with, sensitivity analysis is a technique used to show how a single variable can affect the possible outcomes of a company. In other words, it forecasts how a particular percentage rise in price will result in a corresponding percentage decrease in the total number of goods sold. This analysis can give a wide view of the relationship between the independent and dependent variable, which will help the managers to provide a better decision making for a long time period. Now, there are some steps to be considered in the sensitive analysis. Firstly, establish the best case scenarios. The analyst can make use of the past data or probable prediction to exhibit which, and it is the most important part as the results are the most people anticipated about. Next, to identify the variables that affect the most on the organization. For example, the net present value NPV and internal rate of return IRR. Lastly, build a financial model to test on the chosen variables such as spreadsheet by using the what-if analysis. Hence, the result will show the insignificant impacts of the independent variables towards the dependent variables. For instance, if the NPV is positive, then the store expansion investment will generate desired returns. In contrast, scenario analysis is the process of employs more than one variable to assess future occurrences. In other words, it takes into account on the wide range potential outcomes from best to worst case scenarios, which can allows the managers to be prepared and manage the risk exposures. There are some steps that involves in scenario analysis. Firstly, build a best case scenario which include the company's assumptions on the future occurrence, which by selecting the variables to be tested. Next, specify the assumption built in the multiple scenarios that includes the best case to worst case. Then analyze the important metrics from the financial model. Lastly, gives the insight from the analysis and choose the best investment that can give higher returns.
Assalamualaikum. Sir, my name is Putri Nurain, and now I will present about how simulation and the value of using simulation approach. So simulation is the process of converting the actual processes into a model. It imitates everything that the actual processes does. This model is further studied. Improvements are done based on the study, such as model is a sample of the actual process. It has all the similar characteristics and responses. So computers are used to create such simulations. And the benefits of simulation are, first, it helps to analyze a process deeply to develop improvements without hampering the actual process flow. So second, it identifies gaps and wastage, which strategy is crafted to mitigate the same. And third, it is more accurate than the actual process flow study. And lastly, what if analysis can be done and the answers can be judged later on.
Hi, my name is Nicky James. So I'll be presenting on the question 4, which is how can break-even analysis be helpful in evaluating project risk? A small enterprise accounting method called break-even analysis may be used to estimate when a firm or a new item or service would become successful. The amount of goods or services you must sell to at least pay your production expenses is calculated from a financial perspective. An effective method for determining the link between sales volume and profitability is break-even analysis. It is based on the concept that a venture turn a profit or a loss below a certain minimum product level. There are a few questions that come up regularly while discussing break-even analysis, such as how bad do sales have to be before we start losing money, and is it likely things will get that bad? We must first talk about the fixed and variable costs before we can begin with the analysis. This is due to how crucial the difference between fixed and variable expenses becomes when addressing break-even. There are few benefits of break-even analysis in evaluating project risk. First is that it pays for fixed costs. Most people consider variable costs or how much it costs to make a thing when consider price. However, you also need to pay for your fixed costs like insurance or web development fees, in addition to your variable costs. A break-even analysis may help you do that. You may also set goals for sales income. You will know precisely how many sales you need to earn to break even after doing a break-even analysis. You may use this to assist and your team come up with more specific sales target. Will be much simpler to follow through if you have a certain number in mind. Thirdly, it enables business owners to make wiser choice. Entrepreneurs often base their business choices on feelings. They pursue new ventures if they have confidence in them. However, how you feel important but it is not enough. Entrepreneurs that are successful make their decision on the facts. Making judgment will be much simpler if you have put in the effort and have access to helpful information.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. I'm Muhammad Zulfazli bin Muhammad Ju, and now I would like to proceed our presentation with the question, and what the question is what sensitivity analysis and what is the purpose of sensitivity analysis. First of all, sensitivity analysis is a technique used to determine how different values of an independent variable will impact a particular dependent variable under a given set of assumptions. This technique is used within specific boundaries that will depend on one or more input variables, such as the effect that changes in interest rates will have on a bond's price. Sensitivity analysis also way to predict the outcome of a decision if a situation turned out to be different compared to the key predictions. Then, what is the purpose of sensitivity analysis? Sensitivity analysis purpose is to help manager assess what factor would cause a project to turn out a smaller profit, affecting the net profit value of the planned activity. Manager determine how to manage any involved risk in a new project or activity if they decide to engage in the activity after using sensitivity analysis. In addition, sensitivity analysis help a business estimate what will happen to the project if the assumptions and estimates turn out to be unreliable. Sensitivity analysis involves charging the assumption or estimates in a calculation to see the impact on the project's finance. In this way, it prepares the business managers in case the project doesn't generate the expected result, so they can better analyze the project before making an investment.
For question 6, the net income steadily rose in question 3 and question 4 are visualized complicated and dense information with graph and charts. These are visual aids that help add more context to the topic that we are discussing right now. For the question 6a, for this question, we use the best case NPV by first calculating the net income. After we calculate the net income, we calculate the operating cash flow per year. After that, at 12% the annuity factor is 3.60 for it, so the best case NPV will be positive. In this question 6b, we need to calculate the worst case NPV for this company. We use the formula of worst case NPV, which contains unit sales projection, price projection, variable cost projection, fixed cost projection, sales loss projection, and sales gain projection. It is the same as the question 6c, but in question 6c, I asked us to calculate the best case NPV, which using the best case NPV formula, and it is also contains almost the same contents in worst case NPV that I had just presented, which is unit sales projection, price projection, variable cost projection, fixed cost projection, sales loss projection, and sales gain projection.